Stuck arrives looking like many things: indecision, passivity, a client who needs more clarity, a client who needs more options. Most of those reads are wrong, and coaching the wrong read produces months of motion that leaves the central question untouched. There are four distinct forms, and each has a different maintaining force. Getting the form right is the first act of competent work. The client who has been circling the same question for 2 years doesn't announce it that way. They say they're still figuring things out, or that they haven't quite landed yet. There's a slightly apologetic register to it. They know they've been here before. That presentation by itself tells the coach almost nothing useful about what maintains the stuck. The same surface, "I can't decide," "I don't know what I want," can come from four completely different operating dynamics. Coaching into the wrong one doesn't waste a session, it wastes the engagement. The four labels, too many options, no options, one bad option, clear option they won't take, are less important than what sits behind each one. The form names what the client presents. The maintaining force names what's actually holding the stuck in place. Those are different questions, and the coaching work follows from the second one. A client generating options compulsively is not stuck because they lack imagination. They're stuck because the work is evaluation and commitment, and something is holding them back from it. The label gets you to the right territory. The maintaining force is the actual work. These illustrative cases are here to help you do the diagnostic work in session, not to give you client types. Consider a client trying to decide between corporate leadership, consulting, and going back to school. Over 3 sessions, they've added nonprofit board work and a startup opportunity to the list. Smart, engaged in every conversation, feels like progress at the end of each session. At the start of the next, same place. That's options expansion. The more the coach opens alternatives, the more alternatives they consider, and the further the commitment gets. The work is cutting, not adding. Now picture a senior operations director, 12 years in the same function, who says, "I just don't know what else I'd do." Knows the industry, knows how to run things. Asked what direction appeals, goes quiet. The maintaining force is identity, not a lack of information. Options lists don't help yet. The no options presentation is the one coaches most often try to solve with brainstorming, informational interviews, options expansion exercises. None of those are wrong in general. They're wrong as the first move here, because the maintaining force isn't an absence of possibilities. Consider the operations director who has run logistics for 12 years and goes quiet when asked what direction appeals. The options don't compute yet, not because they don't exist, but because an identity organized tightly around a single function hasn't loosened enough to hold them. Brainstorming into that tightness produces a list the client can't use. The stuck form that generates the most misreads. The client who articulates their next move with complete clarity and hasn't taken it. Consider someone who describes a path specifically, without hesitation, and then produces 12 reasons they haven't moved on it. The path has been the obvious move for 18 months. The coach's instinct is to help them get clear on the direction. Is it the right call? Does it suit them? But clarity isn't what's missing. They already have it. Coaching toward the path misses the work entirely. The precision and the staying put are two separate things. What maintains the staying put is the actual work, and it won't surface if the sessions stay at the level of the option itself. One discipline that matters before the session is over. The Stuck framework describes what's operating in an engagement, not who someone is. A client who pivoted cleanly 2 years ago may arrive today fully in the stuck form. Treating the previous engagement type as permanent produces months of wrong work. That distinction, diagnosing the engagement rather than labeling the person, also prevents a specific error, assuming the coach already knows what someone needs because they've worked with them before. The diagnostic question stays open at the start of each new piece of work. The form belongs to the current engagement, not to the client's history. 3 diagnostic errors that extend stuck work unnecessarily. First, taking "I don't know what I want" at face value and helping the client explore what they want. That phrase is the presenting complaint. The diagnostic question, which form is operating, what maintains it, has to come first. Second, offering more options to a client whose maintaining force is the inability to close on any of them. Options expansion work in that context extends the stasis sometimes by years, while both parties think the sessions are productive. Third, reading precision as readiness. The client who describes their next step with the most detail and fluency may be the furthest from taking it. Seeing through that is the core diagnostic skill for stuck client work. Pause here before you move on. Map your current stuck client portfolio, or your most recent one, against the 4 forms. Which form dominates your caseload? Where have you been applying options expansion work to a client who already had a clear option they were not taking? The form clarification belongs in session 1, before the engagement design is set. If the diagnosis shifts mid-engagement, and it does occasionally, the contract can be renegotiated. But the cost of starting with the wrong form is months of good sessions that don't move the central question. That cost is avoidable.